Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's core day. Let's get into it. This is going to be a good one. So this is a long a long workout with a lot of exercises. You've got 6 exercises for this workout, all for core. So I take an entire day each week and dedicate it to core. That's just the way I've trained forever. A lot of people don't do it that way, and I don't think they get the best results when they don't. So let's get into it. First exercise, farmer walks. One of the more functional carries you'll ever do. Love carry exercises, love backloaded carries, but I love farmer walks. For core, for oblique, I think this is one of the most efficient uses of your time. I'll say this right off the bat. Never do farmer walks with weight in both hands. Pick a hand, put the weight in that, contract the opposite side of your body in order to stabilize and keep a straight line with your spine. That's a farmer walk. That's the goal. I don't understand why people do farmer walks with two hands. They do, but regardless, don't do that. Do it with one hand. Do it for 20 yards and do 20 yards on each hand. So 20 yards right hand, then 20 yards left hand. Next, we have our first superset. It's 2 exercises together. We've got hanging leg raises and the Federal Fitness core rotation. So first, let's start with the hanging leg raises. Pretty easy to mimic this inside of your local gym. They should have something in there that will allow you the ability to do this. We have the spud straps. That's what we use for the actual hanging strap to hold me in place. But there's lots of different ways to do this. You can do it hanging from a bar from your hands if you have the upper body strength to do that. You can find yourself a machine. Oftentimes they have like a pull-up dip combination machine with a pad that you can put your elbows on. That's another option. But either way, find a way to do this. Hang. It's really good to hang anyway, even if you're not going to do a leg raise. Push your feet out in front of you at the bottom. That's the biggest critique I have when I see people doing this. They go up and they come down way too fast and their feet are directly underneath them. At the bottom of each rep, your feet should still be out in front of you, forcing that contraction in your abdominals to still be present. So make sure you do that. That will make a much more efficient use of your time. Next, we have the Federal Fitness core rotation. So Federal Fitness is actually the manufacturer of the pec deck that I'm using for this exercise. This is a very common machine you'll find inside of your gym. Most people don't know that it can be used for this type of a movement. I love this movement. I think it's really good. You can do this in a cable machine, of course, and if you don't have access to this particular machine, that would be the next step that I would recommend. Get yourself a cable machine and use it for that. Okay, next we have a triple set. The last superset has 3. So that's 3 exercises all back to back. We've got wall ball throws, we've got sprinter sit-ups, and we've got hollow rocks. So starting with the wall ball throws, this is a really, really good transverse plane movement. It's something that I like for sports performance because it does implement a lot of power, explosivity, and rotation. So get yourself a med ball. I like Dynamax or I like Rogue. Those are the 2 best types of medicine balls in my opinion for this exercise. When you rotate from the hips, engage your core as you are doing it. Do high velocity. That means throw it as fast and as powerful as you can and do high reps. So 15 to 20 reps per side. That's exercise 1. Next, we have sprinter sit-ups. Now, for any sit-up variation, I always recommend an ab mat. You can get those from abmat.com. That's a really good product. It saves your low back, especially on an exercise like this, where you are not only sitting up, you are sitting up and rotating at the same time. I think it's just a good idea to use that ab mat to isolate the abdominals and take the low back kind of out of the equation, especially for any of you who struggle with a low back problem. Get yourself an ab mat. It will significantly help with this exercise. Lastly, we have hollow rocks. Hollow rocks, while they technically you do have a contraction in the abdominals, obviously. It's not the same motion as a sit-up since you're not like opening and closing. You're not flexing and extending. You're going to keep your trunk flexed the entire time. Really, the way that low back problems happen most of the time is flexion and extension of the trunk that goes basically on a hard surface unchecked. This is going to be something that could have that effect on you. So I would do it on turf or I would do it on a mat. As you can see, if you see the video, I'm on turf. So I would actually make sure you've got a soft surface for your tailbone. You don't want to hurt yourself doing this. Keep your contraction, put your hands up in front of your face, or for a challenge, put them up over your head. Rock back and forth, up and down is 1 rep. Do that for the last part of the trip set. Have fun.